Let's start in this session. First, we start with master Snowflake, and we start with first. We are going to start with what is Snowflake, okay, and next we are going to discuss Snowflake architecture, and next one we are going to discuss what are we are going to cover as part of master Snowflake, and then we are going to discuss who are who are going to learn this Snowflake, to whom this course, or who can learn Snowflake. So today we focus on these things, okay, and tomorrow session we completely focus on uh, master dbt. Dbt stands for data build tool. Dbt stands for data build tool for Snowflake team. Dbt not only for Snowflake, wherever transformations are required, there we can use dbt. In this session, we are going to discuss master. In this entire classes, we are going to discuss master Snowflake with dbt. So this is our main course. So today completely we focus on these four concepts today. And tomorrow we are completely focus on dbt. Okay. And before going to uh, enter into Snowflake concept, and first I introduce myself team. I am Badri. I am having complete 15 plus of years of IT experience. I started my career as a Java developer. Then I moved to big data world. 2015 middle, I started my career as a big data developer. I worked on various Hadoop frameworks, Hadoop and Hadoop frameworks. I worked on NoSQL databases, and then data processing side. I started working initially. I started working with Spark with Java. Later, I worked on Spark and Scala, and last around 5 years onwards, I'm working on PySpark team. PySpark with warehousing technologies. Data side, uh, I worked on initially Apache data engineering technologies, and later I moved to cloud, AWS cloud. I worked on various AWS cloud services, and along with this one, multiple projects I worked with the Snowflake team. In current project also, I'm working on uh, AWS data engineering with Snowflake team. So I worked on Snowflake with healthcare sector. I worked on Snowflake with banking. I worked on Snowflake with e-commerce domain. I have multiple projects with the Snowflake team. I am currently working as a data specialist. Yeah, that's my introduction. Before going to start our Snowflake, uh, do you have any idea on Snowflake team?
Cloud data warehouse.
Yes, perfect. Rana saying it's a cloud data warehouse. Yes. Any other person know anything about Snowflake? Okay, no problem. So Snowflake, as Rana said, Snowflake is cloud data warehousing. It's a cloud-based data warehousing technology. It's a modern cloud data warehousing technology. Data warehousing is not new technology. It's already existed. Yes or no? Lot of data warehousing technologies available in the market. What is the main advantage compared to uh, traditional data warehousing technologies with Snowflake? Why industry going for Snowflake? So first, Snowflake is a cloud data warehousing technology. Mainly, we use this cloud data warehousing technology for storage. So we have traditional technologies. We can use traditional technologies also for storing the data. Then compared to traditional technology with Snowflake is Snowflake supports unlimited storages, huge volumes of data. It uses cloud technologies. How it is supporting unlimited storages? It backend using cloud storages, and it is mainly used for storing huge volumes of data and data processing purpose and data analytics purpose. And backend, it uses three different clouds. It uses AWS cloud, it uses Azure cloud, it uses GCP cloud. We can choose whatever the data warehouse we want. Yeah. So Snowflake is a modern cloud data warehousing technology. It supports unlimited storages. It supports data processing. It supports data analytics. It uses cloud technologies for storing the data, for processing the data. Let's diagrammatically discuss it so that we get clear understanding. Let's say this is my Snowflake, and I said it uses different cloud technologies. It uses AWS cloud, it uses Azure cloud, and it uses GCP cloud. You can choose whatever the cloud you want. While creating account with Snowflake, we can choose the cloud technology team, which cloud we want. Let's say this is my Snowflake. Then here, let's say this one is AWS, and this one is Azure. Let's say this one is GCP. So while creating account, let's say we are using our developer mission. So in this developer mission, let's say we are using browser. I said Snowflake is a cloud-based data warehouse. So here we use Snowflake URL for creating account. Okay, we use here Snowflake URL type. Snowflake URL. 1 minute. we use Snowflake URL. Then we will connect Snowflake data warehouse team. So here we connect to Snowflake data warehouse, and while creating account in Snowflake, we choose any one of this cloud team. You can choose AWS, you can choose GCP, you can
Sriram
choose,
Pandu.
yeah, you can choose Azure Cloud. So cloud may be AWS, cloud may be Azure, cloud may be GCP, but functionality is same, performance is same. You cannot see any difference with the different clouds. For storing the data, for processing the data, we use cloud sitting. So mainly we use, why we use this cloud is one for storing the data and another for processing. So to store and to process, we use cloud technologies. Let's say you are using AWS. Assume you are using AWS for Snowflake. Uh, if you use AWS for storing, it uses S3 technology. For processing, it use EC2 systems team. Let's say here we write a query. Let's say here from Snowflake web user interface. From Snowflake web user interface, if you write query, let's say you return select query to retrieve data. So data presented in S3. Then to process that query, it uses EC2 to internally to connect with S3. So Snowflake uses different cloud environments. One is AWS, another one is Azure, and other one is GCP. If you use AWS for Snowflake, storage it uses S3 concept, processing it uses EC2 concept. Let's discuss Snowflake architecture. You will get a clear understanding. Team. Let's explain Snowflake architecture so that you will get clear understanding. Yeah. Let's say this is my Snowflake architecture. Snowflake follows three layered architecture. Team. Snowflake follows three layered architecture. So first layer is cloud services, and here we have infrastructure manager, optimizer, metadata manager, and security. So this one complete Snowflake related, and other one query processing and data storage. Now let's understand here AWS, Azure, AWS, Azure, and GCP. GCP. Let's say it query processing purpose. Here it use concept called virtual warehouse. Virtual warehouse. Here backend virtual warehouse means it will create a EC2. EC2. It uses EC2 concept for virtual warehouse type. If you use Azure, if you use Azure, it uses Azure virtual VMs. There is a concept called VMs. It uses VMs for query processing. If you use GCP, it uses GCP compute engine concept. GCP compute engine concept. Compute engine concept. For Snowflake data storage part, if you use AWS, it uses S3 for storing the data. One. S3. If you use Azure, it uses blob storage, blob storage for storing the data. If you use GCP, it uses Google Cloud Storage, Google Cloud Storage team. So if you use if you use AWS, it uses EC2 for virtual machine, and data storage purpose it uses S3 team. Data storage purpose it uses S3. If you use Azure while creating Snowflake account, if you use Azure, it uses virtual machines concept for query processing. Storage purpose it uses blob storage. If you use GCP, it uses Google Cloud Engine for data query processing and Google Cloud Storage for data storage. It means high level we use Snowflake. Backend it uses different clouds for data processing and data storage. You can choose the cloud, which cloud you want. Let's say I want AWS, you want Azure, someone wants GCP. So backend we choose different clouds. But whenever we choose AWS, it uses two concepts. For query processing, it uses EC2. Storage purpose, it uses S3. Okay. Next important point, why we go for query processing. What is the meaning of virtual warehouse? Let's say team, I have different types of data. Let's say I have a smaller data, I have uh, some bigger data, and I have large data team, huge volumes of data. For all this data processing, if I use multi-node cluster with multiple machines, let's say for all smaller data, medium data, larger data, if I use 100 node machine, whether data processing processed very fast or it uses very less machines for processing. But if you create a cluster with 100 node, you have to pay. So to avoid that one, what Snowflake introduced is they introduced one concept called virtual warehouse. You can create a virtual warehouse with required resources. Let's say I am creating virtual machine with a small VM with a small size. Let's say small machine I am using two EC2 instances. Virtual machine with a medium size I am using 10 machines. Virtual warehouse with large warehouse with X large. We have different types of team. While creating virtual warehouse, we are going to discuss. We can create a virtual warehouse with large, let's say 50 machines. I got 1 GB data. I can go with, I can call or I can assign VM with a smaller size. Two machines are enough to process this 1 GB data. I got to 10 GB data. I can go with, or I got to 20 GB data. I can go with a medium size VM virtual warehouse. I got 1 TB data. Then I go with VM virtual warehouse with and 50 node machines. So we can create different virtual warehouses. Based on the input size, we can call corresponding virtual warehouse to process the data. So here, uh, Snowflake has three layered concepts. First layer is data storage. Data storage, it supports unlimited storage. Backend, it uses S3 or Azure Blob or Google Cloud Storage. If you configure AWS, it uses S3. If you configure uh, Snowflake with Azure, it uses Blob Storage. If you configure GCP, it uses Google Cloud Storage. First important layer is data storage layer. On top of it, we have query processing. So I said this query processing, we can create different virtual warehouses for different purposes. Based on the requirement, we can call corresponding warehouse. The main advantage of creating multiple virtual warehouses with different sizes is cost cutting. For every purpose, instead of using large or X large virtual warehouse to process, based on the input data, we can call corresponding virtual warehouse. And top level cloud services too. So front end are using Snowflake client, we will submit queries to Snowflake. And top level, we have a service called one is infrastructure manager. It maintains all infrastructure like warehouses and optimizer. Optimizer is main important role. It plays your query, it optimize your query to process. And next important one, metadata. It maintain meta information about your storage. Your storage is presented in S3. Backend S3 stores in the form of objects. So metadata manager is maintaining complete information about your tables, views, etc. presented in Snowflake. And next one, security. It provides inbuilt security, and also we can use third party securities we can configure, and we can provide security to Snowflake team. So these are three important layers of Snowflake. So first layer is cloud services, and second layer is query processing, and third layer is data storage. Now let's understand. Yeah, here. So if you configure or while creating Snowflake account, if you use AWS, now tell me team, storage it uses what? Team. Storage purpose it uses S3. And processing it uses EC2. So while creating Snowflake account, we choose cloud. If you choose AWS cloud, storage purpose it uses S3, processing purpose it uses EC2. If you use Azure, one minute. Yep. Tell me, uh, I think someone
Yeah,
trying to ask. Yeah,
I mean, yes, yes. My name is Sudhir. Hi, Badri.
yeah, Sridhar.
You were saying Snowflake will connect another three major clouds, and then it will use their services. You are saying like that, right?
Yes,
Am I right? Snowflake will connect AWS and it will use the S3 for the storage and EC2 for the VMwares, right?
yes, correct.
My question is, Snowflake itself has the VMwares and the storage, right? Snowflake itself.
Snowflake is a software. Backend it uses cloud technology. It's a software.
So it's just the mediator for the, what we need it, we will just write on Snowflake and the complete operations will be another major clouds. You are saying
Yes,
like that, right?
yes, correct. Let's
Okay,
say,
so
hmm,
Snowflake itself doesn't have any VMwares and storages. It's nothing. You are saying
yes,
in that way, right?
Snowflake is a software. Software.
Okay.
It uses different clouds for storage and processing.
Ha, 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 ha.
Hmm.
Okay, understood. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah,
Yes, Badri. My name is Revan.
yeah,
So in between you explained about some modes with different nodes and all, which
yeah,
actually playing a role to connect from this flow Snowflake to another clouds. Can you come back on that, please?
yeah. Let me open. Yeah, this one, right? You are saying,
Yeah. So you told that
yeah.
it will be connected with respect to some different nodes and all. So I didn't
Hmm.
get that one. What is because
Okay.
I think that is the main thing which actually connecting to the Snowflake and the other clouds.
Yes, correct. Let me
All
explain.
the data which has been from the Snowflake, it has been transferred to other clouds only. These clouds will respond to the commands given by the Snowflake, what I
Hmm.
understood.
Hmm.
And
Yeah,
metadata, what it is
correct.
telling is that includes all the instructions which other clouds need to analyze that one.
No. Let's say this is my Snowflake, and I am using AWS for my Snowflake. Let's say I'm using Snowflake. While creating account, I chosen this AWS. So here one is S3, S3
It's for storage.
for storing and EC2 for processing.
Query processing.
Processing. Okay. One. Yeah. So here we have a concept high level or low level we call EC2, but in Snowflake terminology, these are virtual warehouses. Virtual warehouse, let's say VM. What sorry, VW, virtual warehouse. Let's say here we can create virtual warehouse one with two resources, virtual warehouse two with 10 resources, and three virtual warehouse 3 with 50 resources, and we can create virtual warehouse with, let's say, virtual warehouse 4 with 100 node. Okay, so we have a concept in Snowflake called virtual warehouse. We can create different sizes virtual warehouse, and here I'm sending SQL query. So this SQL query for processing data, maybe some transformation we are applying. Okay. So here I have a 1 GB data, 1 GB data. To process this 1 GB data, if I use 100 missions warehouse, then Snowflake people charges for this entire cluster size. How much time this cluster utilized? Let's say this
Okay.
100 node mission utilized for uh, uh, 2 seconds. For 2 seconds, they will charge. Instead of this one, for processing 1 GB data, you can go with VM1. You configured virtual warehouse with 2 resources. This is more than enough to process this 1 GB data. Let's say here you have 20 GB data, 20 GB data. To process this 20 GB data, you can go with virtual warehouse 2. Means it uses 10 EC2 systems.
Okay.
If you have 1 TB data, you can go with 50 node cluster for processing this one. Like this, you can create multiple virtual warehouses.
Okay. Okay.
Clear, right?
Yeah.
Here,
Means
high level, we have 3 layers. One is virtual warehouses concept, and low level main
storage.
first important level is
Mhm.
storage, and top level is meta information, optimizer, and security related. So metadata, metadata,
Okay.
optimizer, security related. First layer is this one. Okay. So by using
Yeah.
this virtual warehouse concept, we can create virtual warehouses. So if any select query, if you issue, it uses virtual machine and it process data presented in this storage. High level we call virtual warehouse. Low level it uses EC2 concept. High level we call storage. Low level it uses S3. Clear?
Yeah, Badri, one more thing.
Hmm.
Snowflake uses AWS or Azure or GCP. Do we need their accounts? I mean, AWS account while using
No, no,
Snowflake?
no. We do not require.
Then how will they charge about the storage and processing cost?
Yes, yes. Yeah. So here we have different plans. Uh, let me clear. Let's say this is my AWS, Snowflake AWS, and Azure. Azure. Let's say this is GCP, GCP Cloud. So here we are using Snowflake. We are using Snowflake. Snowflake. Snowflake people, they already having uh, partners with AWS and GCP and Azure. So this is user one or client to Snowflake, and client name is Badri, and I created account in Snowflake. I created account. While creating account, I chosen AWS. AWS. Let's say they have a separate dedicated AWS cloud data center. They may have dedicated data center one, two, like that. They have multiple dedicated data centers assigned AWS people given for Snowflake. And in this data center, if I create, they give free account. Free account. In this, I have VMs, VM, virtual warehouse, and here I can create storage S3. So they use account, their own account for allocating virtual warehouses, and storages. So like this, someone created account and they uses their own Snowflake account. They will create for you. They have a partnership with AWS Cloud. Is it clear, friend?
Yes.
So if you
And
configure, yeah,
one more thing. I mean, these three major clouds itself has the already data warehouses, right? AWS it's a Redshift and GCP BigQuery,
mm,
and Azure it's I think it's a Synopsys or something.
yes, correct,
Itself
correct.
it has the data warehouses, right?
Mm.
Then what makes a Snowflake makes much differ from those three?
Because the processing uh, here, first level is their own. Uh, so first level, it uses this concept: cloud services,
Okay.
infrastructure manager, optimizer, metadata, security, and query processing. It uses different concepts, and data storage purpose it using different concepts. So this entire things they return Snowflake software. To do all these things, they developed Snowflake software. This software compared to Redshift software, compared to BigQuery software, compared to Synopsys software, it has more advantages and data processing compared to those technologies. It contains lot of optimization techniques and it support like Redshift also supporting ANSI SQL, Snowflake also supporting ANSI SQL, Redshift also supporting Python, and Snowflake also supporting Python for data processing. And
Okay.
architecture style is different. Data processing style is different.
So because of that architecture, the Snowflake makes, I mean, itself famous, right? Uh,
Yes, yes,
I
correct.
mean, any processing feed differences, like we have to store or process something into Snowflake, and let's take example of another data warehouse, it's a Redshift.
Hmm.
Is there processing timing or storage timings are
Differ,
price?
differ.
So,
Pricing also differ.
okay. So overall, Snowflake itself, it will get the minimum price with high processing fees. Right? I
Yes,
mean, high processing speed.
high processing
Right?
speed. Correct, correct.
Okay. Okay. Cool.
While discussing billing, we are going to discuss how we can optimize bills.
Okay.
So initially, as a learner, we are going to create a Snowflake account. They give 30 days trial version. Let's say I created Snowflake with XYZ account, email ID. If 30 days is completed, you can recreate with the same email ID. For practice purpose, you no need to pay single rupee. You no need any credit card, debit card
Okay.
because you are not directly connecting cloud. You are connecting with the Snowflake. Snowflake
Okay.
uses their own dedicated data centers for creating your account.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Good.
Yeah. Now let's see one more important point. Yep. What are we are going to cover as part of Snowflake team? So first one, we start with Snowflake introduction. And next, SQL for Snowflake. To learn Snowflake, SQL is mandate. SQL for Snowflake, and then Snowflake we are going to start. Okay, and before Snowflake we are going to learn AWS for Snowflake team. You can learn any cloud, it may be Azure, it may be GCP. In this course, we are going to discuss as part of Master Snowflake, we are going to learn all these four concepts. Okay, so Snowflake introduction, SQL for Snowflake, and AWS for Snowflake, then Snowflake. So after completing this one, and another course is Master DBT, Master DBT. So as part of Master DBT, first we are going to start with DBT fundamentals. DBT fundamentals, and DBT provides two software streams. One is DBT Cloud, DBT Cloud. So we can create a DBT Cloud account. For one user, they give free account. You can create a connection between DBT Cloud and Snowflake. Then you can write transformations. Tomorrow, I'm going to give clear idea about what is DBT. And next one, they give one more software called DBT Core team. DBT Core you can install in your local machine. DBT Core is a command line user interface. This one is a graphical user interface, and you no need to install any software. You can create an account, DBT Cloud account. You can create a connection between DBT Cloud and Snowflake. Then you can write models, you can write seeds, you can write macros, multiple DBT concepts. Similar way, DBT Core you can install on your developer machine. You can use VS Code or any other IDE for developing DBT scripts, and you can create a connection between your DBT script with Snowflake. Then you can run your DBT applications. So this one is DBT related. So this one we cover Monday to Monday to Friday, Monday to Friday. So daily 1 hour, 1 hour, and duration is 30 days. Duration is 30 days. This one we 3 weekends routine. Who already having Snowflake or let's say uh, your Azure engineer, or let's say your AWS engineer, or let's say your RDBMS developer, you are working on Postgres, then you can directly start with this DBT. You have a requirement, you want to work on your technology, let's say you are Postgres developer, complete data transformations, you want to work with DBT, then you can directly start with DBT. Here in this class, we are going to discuss DBT with Snowflake. Concepts are same. We use connector here. We use connection with Snowflake, Snowflake. Okay, 1 minute. replace this connection with your required instance one. Replace this connection, use Postgres connection type. Postgres SQL connection. Let's say I am working on Azure Data Engineering, Azure DE. So you can integrate DBT with Databricks. You can integrate DBT with Synapse. You can integrate DBT with Microsoft Fabric. Then change only connection type. Instead of this connection, you can change. Concepts are same. No need to change your scripts. Whatever DBT scripts we write, right? These scripts never changes. Only this connection object is going to change. But in our class, we are going to discuss DBT with Snowflake. Snowflake. And here you may have a question. If I start DBT with Snowflake, my requirement is Azure Synapse. But you are saying just change a connection. Okay, that is good. But do I need to know Snowflake? Minimum knowledge is required. Minimum knowledge, SQL knowledge is required. SQL knowledge is more than enough to learn this DBT with Snowflake. If you really want only DBT, you can join weekends batch. Weekends batch. If you already Yeah. Hello, online team, are you hearing me? Hello, hello, online team, are you hearing me?
Yes, yes, I can.
Yes, sir.
Uh,
Hello, sir. Can you hear me, sir?
5.6 దాకా ఉంటాడు మా అంటే 5.5 అబవ్ 6 మిడిల్లో ఉంటాడు.
Hello, Sudhir.
1 minute మామ. బద్రి,
Yeah.
I'm
You are
audible.
unmute and speaking.
Sorry.
You are unmute and speaking.
Sorry. Sorry.
Okay. Yeah. So, team, as part of this Snowflake and DBT, we have this plan, so team. So Monday to Friday, daily 1 hour, 30 days, we are going to discuss these concepts. And 3 weekends, we are going to discuss this DBT fundamentals, DBT core, and DBT cloud team. So this one duration is 3 weekends.
Not visible. Your screen is not visible.
Any questions, Steve?
No, sir.
No, right? Yep. We will continue tomorrow. We will discuss DBT tomorrow. Once again, tomorrow I'll start with the Snowflake intro. Then I'm going to explain DBT with the Snowflake too. So today we discussed some important topics. Maybe someone last voice. So tomorrow I cover both Snowflake and DBT. Okay. Any questions in today's classroom? Yes, tomorrow we have one more free demo session too. First, I start with the Snowflake intro and then DBT intro and how we are going to use DBT with the Snowflake. Yeah. Thank you, team. That's it for today. We'll connect tomorrow. Thank you, team. We'll meet tomorrow.